Hello there and welcome to this week's media news with me, Gareth O'Connor. I'm going to kick things off with you may well have guessed it from the title there. From the edge of space into the record books, that's right, to Red Bull Stratos has smashed its way into the record books. Felix Baumgartner's jump from the edge of space broke a record for the live streams with most concurrent views ever on YouTube, and it broke it by a country mile. At the peak, there were more than 8 million concurrent live streams and over 700,000 shares within the first few hours. I mean, of course, this was global news. It was on every news station, on every channel, on every country in the world, pretty much. But the questions I've noticed now in a couple of industry blogs are talking about, has Red Bull got their money? Did it make good marketing sense for them? This image here would say that certainly sparked a lot of conversation. 502,000 people liked this. There were over 66,000 comments, just in a social sense. But looking at the greater thing, you think for the 4-minute video that was watched countless millions of times, over 100 million times, people are beginning to think, did Red Bull get their money's worth? But of course he did. But you can estimate that potentially the 5-year mission may have cost around 10 million. Could have been 20 million. But one 30-second spot in the Super Bowl will cost you $3.5 million. To make that spot will probably cost you another $500 to $1 million. Money well spent? I would say so. The 4 minutes of freefall were viewed live across the globe via 100 plus media partners, including the BBC, Discovery Channel, ABC, 7, Mate, Yahoo 7, and of course TVNZ. The day after the jump, Stratos' Facebook page had 629,000 likes and a massive 277,000 people talking about it. That's a talking about ratio of 44%, which is 10 times higher than its own brand page at 4.4%, which of course is still remarkably high considering Coke, the biggest brand, only has a talking about ratio of 1.9%, 1.98%. So, huge coverage for a brand. And it doesn't end there. Apart from the fact that they've done a lot of good work for science with this job, which of course they have, the BBC are making a documentary about it, which is not being funded by Red Bull. This will be 2.5 hours of primetime programming. Discovery have also made a documentary which will air globally on their channel. Has to be said, hats off to both of them, but again, it's things brands doing something different. A $3.5 billion price tag for a 30-second ad, or you could do something like this. Always pays to do something different, groundbreaking. People will talk about your brand. Crazy. Is this the start of the end? Well, it's not good news for Nokia, the once biggest mobile company in the world. Granted, they still make a lot of money, but Q3 they've reported a $1 billion loss, a €1 billion loss, should I say. And revenues have fallen 19% in just one quarter. Granted, still make 7.2 billion euros, but a $1 billion loss a quarter. It's quite alarming. Windows 8 is almost upon us, and here's a little bit about it.
10, 9, 8, 8, 8.
This week, big thing for Microsoft. As they're losing share, it's a big thing for them. This is a little cheeky. Last week I spoke about YouTube channels and their ever-growing number of people. So this, of course, is channels that YouTube have made with almost like scheduled programming. Channels, of course, broken into verticals and genres. I spoke about anyway how channels were delivering solid audience number views, and it would seem that some of them have been fudging the numbers just a little bit. Yes, indeed, they're running TrueView ads, which of course are pre-roll ads on YouTube content. And when people watch those ads, they're counting them as channel views to boost their numbers. Very cheeky indeed. Sure, some of these channels are working, and I know that views are, last quarter it was 3 billion views, this time it's 4 billion views. So I know people are watching a lot more content, but a little cheeky all the same. Facebook are giving a little bit extra for those big spending brands, and it's a look at their fans' other likes. Of course, at the moment, brands can see age, gender, location of their fans, but that's pretty much it. Doesn't really get any deeper than that in terms of insights. Well, seeing what your fans like gives a brand so much more. For instance, here's a couple of for instance, the new brand affinity tool would theoretically enable a company like Macy's to see the most popular TV shows amongst its Facebook fans, which could inform its media plan and buying. Makes sense, right? Another case, Ford, for instance, could see its fans' favourite bands, which might help with sponsorship decisions, or even what songs might end up on future TV spots. Kind of makes sense, right? But of course, it's insights. Insights are what makes great campaigns. So another way of getting better insights about your target group. Kind of cool. The Wildfire Pinterest, yes, some of you may not remember Wildfire. Wildfire was a company started by Kiwi Victoria Ransom, and it was bought by Google recently for $250 million. Now, they were, of course, started really around Facebook promotions, and they ran promotions for companies. Well, Pinfluencer are going to do the same on Pinterest. They've just launched with 10 partners, and it's going to give people, because a lot of brands now are trying promos on Pinterest, but they're always very difficult, very clunky, you've got tons of steps to go through, so they're not very user-friendly. I guess we will see how Pinfluencer goes. But Pinterest, sticking with it for a while, holds a lot of promise for brands. Pinterest is a more effective tool for brands than Facebook on several core metrics, a new study has shown. BizRate, to the Insights Group, found that 69% of Pinterest users had found a product via the platform they went on to buy. Pretty high, right? 69%. The total for Facebook was 40%. Some 70% of Pinterest audience thus use it to get inspiration on what to buy. This fell to 17% for Facebook. These ratings stood at 67% and 22% respectively for tracking the latest trends. All very promising. 43% share of respondents that signed up to Pinterest utilized the site to associate with their favorite brands and retailers. This figure stood at 24% when looking at the Facebook counterparts. So again, a great platform for finding trends, finding inspiration on what you want to buy, connecting with brands and like-minded individuals, and therefore actually closing the circle and buying product. A few more for you. 39% of consumers active on Pinterest viewed it as a useful source of special offers from brands. This figure fell to 26% for Facebook. Now, in contrast, 55% of Facebook audience followed a brand or retailer. This fell to 26% for Pinterest. These totals came in at 30% and 23% in turn for regarding to searching for products of firms. So again, that's an area where Facebook will win. Equally, 44% of Facebook visitors had browsed pages created by retailers and brands, and 30% had either looked at or reclaimed coupons. This total stands at 36% for browsing retailers and 9% for collecting coupons when it looks at Pinterest. Still though, there's a lot of opportunity there in Pinterest. The other big thing is that Facebook has a reach of 63% versus Pinterest 15%. So by any means no am I saying, hey, take your money out of Facebook and put it to Pinterest. I'm not. I'm saying a presence across both would be in order. And test Pinterest. Start dipping your toe into it. Start putting up there what things mean to your brand and your products and your services. Ford, here's a case in point, who have over 80 social media pages, believes that establishing a broad range of social media platforms offers clear benefits when it comes to engaging with consumers. We know engaging with consumers is very difficult, or certainly it gets harder now because of the media fragmentation, but you need to be where people expect you to be, said Scott Monty, Ford's global head of social media, and that makes sense. Be where consumers are, engage consumers in the right ways in those environments. The point here is to give people choices, to give them choices where and when and how they want to interact with Ford, but you have to give them all opportunity to interact with you. Fords pursue the Woody Allen theory of social media, which is 80% of success is showing up. Quite right. Everything is connected. Yes, and Strongbow, the cider drink manufacturers in the UK, have got themselves a first. I wonder if this will take off. Yes, indeed. Technology, eh? The year cometh. Yes, indeed. I mean that statement. But nearly. Mobile ad spend is set to surpass 20 billion globally in 3 years' time, equivalent to about 4% of the entire ad market. Still quite small, but still 20 billion. Start of this year, it was less than 1%. So on the rise. This growth has been driven, of course, by the adoption of smartphones and media tablets, and the increasing use of all-purpose information, entertainment, social networking tools on these platforms. When thinking of social networking, by the end of this year, 800 million people will be using a mobile device to access a social platform. Location-based services are also in line to see a surge in revenues. Applications that will generate the highest interest, of course, in turn will be navigation, location search, and friend finder social networks. But mobile is encroaching into the media space more and more and more. Are you thinking about it yet? Life as George Clooney's wife is really good. You may well remember the first ad from the Danish bank DNB. Here's the next installment for a bank. This is lovely.
Where is the treasure? Captain! They're getting away! Go! Go, go! Bring me the chest! Come on! Move on! Bury it! Find him now! Come on!
This is a nice bud, George.
Nice.
Get out of my way, ugly woman. Get out of my way. You're not here to stay. Get out of my way. Yes, I don't, baby.
I think the bit at the end there was pretty much just saying it's good to marry George Clooney. It's even better to be with DNB. Anyway, a lovely piece of creative and very entertaining, beautifully shot. I know this is a marketing stunt, but boy, is that a good one. It all started with a post on Facebook. Hi, as a man, I must ask why you've lied to us all these years. As a child, I watched your advertisement with interest. As to how at this wonderful time of the month, the female gets to enjoy so many things, I felt a little jealous. I mean bike riding, roller coasters, dancing, parachuting, why couldn't I get to enjoy this time? And blue water and wings, damn my penis. Then I got a girlfriend. I was so happy and couldn't wait for this joyous adventurous time of the month to happen. You lied. There was no joy, no extreme sports, no blue water spilled over wings, and no rocking soundtrack. Oh no, no, no. Instead, I had to fight against every male urge I had to resist screaming, "Whoa, body form for you," as my lady changed from a loving, gentle, normal skin-colored lady to the little girl from The Exorcist with added venom and extra 360-degree headspin. Thanks for setting me up for a fall, body form, you crafty bugger. 93,000 likes, thousands of comments. This was posted on Bodyform's site. This is a response from the CEO. An actress, of course, not the real CEO.
Hello, Richard. I'm Caroline Williams, the CEO of Bodyform. We read your Facebook post with interest, but also a sense of foreboding, and I think it's time we came clean. We lied to you, Richard, and I want to say sorry. Sorry. What you've seen in our advertisements so far isn't a factual representation of events. You're right. The flagrant use of visualization such as skydiving, rollerblading and mountain biking, you forgot horse riding, Richard, are actually metaphors. They're not real. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but there's no such thing as a happy period. The reality is, some people simply can't handle the truth. In the past, we've tried to be more honest in our approach. In the 1980s, we ran a series of focus groups to help us gauge the public's reaction to periods. The cramps, the mood swings, the insatiable hunger. And yes, Richard, the blood coursing from our uteri like a crimson landslide. So, we knew we'd have to change our strategy. And so, from that day to this, we have managed to maintain this illusion. But you, Richard, have torn down that veil and exposed this myth, thereby exposing every man to a reality we hoped they would never have to face. You did that, Richard. You. Well done. I just hope you can find it in your heart to forgive us. Oh, sorry, Richard. You did know that we do that too, didn't you? Hello, Caroline Williams.
Very nice, very nice. And it sparked a lot of conversation. You know, they had 6,000 likes, but 84,000 people were talking about them. It's quite impressive. When looking at any category, and I've said this before, a lot of ads follow a similar line. They look the same, they say the same things, they make you think and feel the same things. Add to this the thousands of messages consumers see each and every single day. How the hell do you ensure your message is the one that is seen? Tricky. Here's how. To engage consumers with your advertising needs to be high quality, honest, entertaining, sociable. Yes, let people share your ads, make it something worth talking about, and deliver value. Value could be anything. It could be humor, it could be a laugh, could be an insight, could be educational, anything really. But these 5 things, even if it's not all 5, at least pick a couple of them. Make it entertaining and sociable, very much like this next ad I'm going to show you. But for a car, and this is a car, let's say it's for the masses, it's not cutting edge, it's just a very run-of-the-mill car. Here's a good way, taking entertainment and sociable to let people get your car into people's heads. And well done.
L'amour m'étrange de sa lame et me rend fou. L'amour, c'est le soufflet qui me fait respirer à mon fond. Pour les autres, cela peut sembler étrange, mais ce que je fais, je le fais par amour. C'est étrange, mais l'amour a sa propre anesthésie. Les pires feux de l'enfer sont consommés par sa flamme. C'est l'amour qui boule derrière les yeux de cet homme.
And that's it for me this week. I will see you next week.